All right. Hey, it's Eli Skinner with Simplify Real Estate. We're going to talk a little bit today about inspection responses. So we're actually going to fill out a buyer's inspection response. I might show you a seller inspection response, but the reality is working with a buyer, that's going to be kind of your initial thing. So you're under contract and your first order of business, other than like delivering earnest money, for instance, or getting the appraisal ordered by the lender, is going to be this inspection. And you're going to have that done. It's going to take a couple of days to get the inspection report back, maybe. You're going to get it. You're going to go over it with your clients and you're going to find out what they want to do. Again, our job is to help them win, and they get to define what winning looks like. So I'm not going through acting like a contractor. I'm not going through acting like somebody that knows about buildings and houses and all that. I'm going through and listening to them, maybe pointing out something if they don't see it that looks significant. But at the end of the day, the big deal is that they get what they want done. Because some of them are going to go, there's a little bit here, but this is good. And other ones are, kind of like there's a ton of stuff and they don't want to mess with any of it. So they're going to name a million things. And you can try and massage it here and there. But at the end of the day, you're not a contractor and you're an agent helping them accomplish their hopes and dreams, not yours of getting a paycheck, and not trying to make it too many decisions for them when it comes, making no decisions for them when it comes to what to fix or what not to fix. You're just helping them get it done. So anyway, we're going to start here in Zip Forms. Pulled it up. I'm going to be over here to the left at transactions, and we're going to get to a transaction here that's currently going on down here at Rich and Kathy. And we're going to get inside we've already done the report. I've taken notes on things. And so now all we've got to do is see, I've already, because of my template right here, you see this buyer's inspection response. We haven't done it yet, but I have it pulled in because the template's set up to pull that in automatically. So I'm going to click that. It's going to load it up. All right. The way the numbering works here. So again, hit pause. If you're watching this on YouTube, watch it on your phone, hit pause, do the work, hit pause, do the work, whatever you need to do. But here's how this goes. So buyer's inspection response 1, okay? This is because it's our first inspection response, okay? And it's buyer's inspection response, you'll notice, not seller's. So the first time the seller gives a response, it's gonna be seller inspection response 1. You'll notice at the very bottom here, it says seller's inspection reply. The seller is gonna reply to this down here on the bottom, and it's going to be their first time to reply, right? So you got response and you've got reply, 2 different things. You got a seller and you got a buyer, 2 different things. So you kind of just keep track. So it's going to be buyer's inspection response 1, and then the seller is going to respond to it with a reply to it with a 1, and then they're going to also complete their version of a response saying, we're not going to do that, but we will do this. That's going to be seller's inspection response. You just replace this word with seller. Seller's inspection response 1, because it's the first time they've done a response. Then you come back down, and it would say at the bottom of that one, buyer inspection reply. It's our first time to reply. We've done a response. We haven't done a reply. So our first reply would be there. And then if we did not agree with what they wrote, and we're going to do this again, we're going to be back to this same form, but it's going to be buyer inspection response 2, because it's the second time we've done a response. They would be responding seller's inspection reply 2, because it's the second time they've replied. That's how you keep track of it. That's how you keep the order going. I want to let you know that. All right. The date is the date, whatever day you're writing this, not the day it was accepted, not anything else. It's the day we're writing this. You got your address here. You got, this is a couple different options. Buyer accepts the property provided the seller corrects the following conditions. So you're going to write out just the things you want them to fix, okay? Remember, the definition of defect in short is a defect affects the value, the longevity of the home, of its components, or the safety of the occupants. If it's not one of those, it really shouldn't be being dealt with on an inspection response. But people do it all the time, and your buyers are going to want you to do it. But you can't back out of a contract, at least not according to our contracts. Only a judge can ultimately decide for something that's not a defect, okay? And you must, remember this, you must give the seller an opportunity to fix a defect in Indiana. Unless you've done an as-is addendum, then you don't have to let them. But other than that, unless you've negated it in writing somewhere else, in Indiana, a buyer has to give a seller the opportunity to fix any defects in the house. You can't just go, oh no, there's mold in the attic, I'm out. You have to say, oh no, there's mold in the attic. Seller, you have to fix it or I'm not buying this house. If they say, I will fix it, then they fix it. And then you run air quality tests, you go check it, you do whatever you want to do to make sure that it's perfect. And if it is, you can't back out, you buy the house. If they don't do it, they don't want to do it, or they do a terrible job of it, you know, two things. If they don't want to do it, or they say they're not going to do it, then you can back out. If they say they're going to do it and do a terrible job, then you have to let them, then you tell them, hey, this isn't done yet, fix it again. And you can kind of just keep going until you pass, you know, some other date. But you have to give the seller an opportunity to fix any defects. So that's why this is important. So most of the time you're going to be clicking this one here. We accept the property, providing you correct these conditions. If it's a bunch of stuff, then you're going to have this addendum here that's going to automatically pop up. If you fill all these lines, it's going to automatically write an addendum for you. So you're going to write buyer addendum number 1 to inspection response is attached if it happens to fill all these lines, which is totally possible. It won't today on mine, but it is possible. Here's another option. Buyer is exercising additional time in order to receive and respond to all inspection reports because the initial inspection report revealed a condition that requires further examination or testing. No seller response is required. So if you do your initial inspection and there's mold, you do your inspection and there's, you know, whatever, you'll see it written in the purchase agreement. That's why we ask for 14 days the first time and then 7 days if we find junk that requires more examination, okay? That's what that box is for. If you just are gonna go, here, we want more time because we found something. Other means it doesn't fix any of these. Maybe you say other, seller to contribute $3,000 to buyer's closing costs in lieu of any repairs. That would go in other. And then right down here, a complete copy of the inspection report or just the appropriate pages of the inspection report are attached. Right here is seller shall respond on or before. Don't put a time in here. This is a date, okay? Before, that's going to be, they shall respond on or before that date. If the seller fails to respond or to request in writing an extension of time to respond, seller, as you see there, seller automatically accepts the buyer's inspection response. Don't miss a deadline. If somebody gives you a really short one, just immediately shoot over an extension, which I'll show you some other time. You can find it. There's an extension request in our forms, okay? So let's go ahead and fill this out. We're operating under this one. This is what you almost always will operate under. You'll do a lot of trading money for repairs, and that's fine. That's easy though. But in my case, I've got my notes written from my conversation with, let's see here, from my buyers. Okay, so I'm gonna write number 1, seller. I don't have to write this because obviously it's seller. My list is missing shingles on roof and roof leak C items number 2 and number 3. Okay, I'm not being a contractor here. All I'm doing is stating what the inspection report said. I'm not telling them how to fix it. I'm not telling anything else. I'm saying the inspection report revealed that there were missing shingles on the roof and there's a roof leak. That's all I'm going to mention. missing shingles and roof leak. Seller corrects the following condition: missing shingles on the roof and the roof leak. Pretty simple, right? Don't make this difficult. 2, sealing of the gaps between bricks and siding. See item number 5. Spelled that wrong. Okay, I didn't tell them how to fix it. I didn't say caulk it. I didn't say anything. I just said there's gaps that needs to be corrected. Okay, and then number 3, have an appliance repairman evaluate and repair as necessary. Evaluate the refrigerator and repair as necessary. See items number 10 and number 11. Very simple. And why we keep it simple is because the buyer right here shall have the right to inspect and accept seller's repairs prior to closing. We don't have to go crazy here. You might want to write in something about, have a licensed, bonded, insured general contractor or trade specialist or whatever, fix things. But the reality is if they do it right, they do it right. And we're going to have somebody inspect it. Okay. But like I said, if you're dealing with plumbing, feel free to write, have a licensed, bonded, insured trade specialist repair items 1 through 4, and those are all related to plumbing. Then it means they have to have a plumber do it. Okay. Licensed, bonded, and insured one. So you're going to see a lot of different things out there, but at the end of the day, it's up to your buyers what they want to put. So I don't normally go crazy on that. I would say in this case, it would make sense to maybe have a qualified contractor licensed, bonded, insured contractor to all repairs. Okay, all good. And on this one, I will say I have one I can recommend. I have recommendations for all 3 items. There we go. So if they need help finding a repairman, they know I've got it. Okay. Not I, should be buyer's agent has. Okay. Take your time, make sure you do it right. There is no addendum attached. We didn't get too long here. None of these apply. We're going to go ahead and send a complete copy of the inspection report because we want them to see that that we left a lot of stuff alone. So we're actually pretty nice. I am going to mention here that maybe HOA or roofing warranty. And maybe we live in a condo association on this house. That's why these exterior ones could very well fall under the purview of the condo association. We're going to say that they need to respond by, I'm going to give them plenty of time because I'm trying to play nice. If I want to, basically the time you give is going to be based on how big of a deal this stuff. If you ask for $20,000 in repairs and you give them till tomorrow, that's not going to work. Never going to fly. Wouldn't even hold up in court, in my opinion. So I'm giving them a week for these teeny little boogers. That's because I'm trying to play nice. I could normally give them, you know, a handful of days would be fine. But they do have to get contractors out. There's a lot of stuff to do, and you're going to like it when somebody gives you plenty of time as well. So that's why I did that there. And then we're done. That is an inspection response. You know, recapping, you know, obviously go back through what do all these items mean? What do you do with them? If you were going to do this other one, I'll just write something in for you. It would look like this: seller to pay the buyer's closing costs, not to include standard. Seller closing costs in lieu of any repairs. So I could do that. That could be the answer, right? Make it real easy. Easy to trade money for repairs sometimes. But that's not what we're doing for now. So anyway, that's that. Think anything else here. Don't write what you're not doing. If you're responding to if you're a listing agent, you're responding to a buyer who has requested all these repairs right here. When you have the seller's response, it's going to say seller agrees to correct the following conditions. Again, seller agrees to correct the following conditions. You don't have to list what you're not going to do. A lot of people do that wrong. Just write down what you will do. If they had 10 items that they wanted you to do and you were going to do 2 of them, great. Write those 2 down. That's all you have to do. Don't write down the 8 that you're not doing. That is not good salesmanship. That is making them mad. Hopefully they forget about the other 8 as your goal. You write down the 2 that you are going to do. Okay. And I think that probably does the trick. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Y'all know how to get a hold of me. But that is how you write a good inspection response. Keep it simple. Don't be a lawyer. Don't be a contractor. Don't tell your buyers what to do and what not to do. But also know that you've got a radon response thing elsewhere. And you've got, you know, a thing that's going to come back for like any termite inspections that you do that will need signatures most of the time. But you can write those things on here if there needs to be repairs done for that. But I think that does the trick. And then you save it right here, and then you're done. Now you can send it for signatures. All right, that's the deal. Peace out. See you later.